Hello and welcome to the Bucket List Show. I'm Tammy Crandall with Journey Venture Travel and Tours and Barron Real Estate, and I'm joined today by my co-host.
I'm Rebecca Denise from Superior Storage as well as Barron Real Estate.
We are here to serve you so you can fill your bucket to live your most abundant life. And what that means for each and every one of you can be very different, right, Rebecca?
Yes, I'm Hawaii.
That's right. She's going
Hawaii.
to talk about Hawaii every show until we get her to Hawaii. So, so stay tuned for that, right? Yeah. And but it can vary beyond a trip. Could be first time buying a house. It could be building your own business.
Writing a book.
That's right. For the next couple of shows, we are going to focus on women-owned or managed businesses. We think that's a great place to start because we know when we start out our lives as young women, we go into different places to work. Depending on what's going on in our life, that changes.
Yeah, we change.
Changes our track or our mission, whether that means that we've expanded what we've done or we've completely changed it altogether. And we have a special guest with us today, Robin Dustman. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you.
Hi, Robin.
You are welcome. Robin is with Interstate Express, Inc. What is Interstate Express, Inc.?
Interstate Express is a 24/7 local and statewide courier service.
Okay.
Which means we basically do pickup and deliveries 24/7 throughout the entire state of Florida.
Wow. That's a huge load.
It is a huge load.
It's a large state.
A large state, depending on what we're carrying. It could be something small. It could be a 9,500 pound load in one of the box trucks.
Okay,
Yes.
that's pretty interesting. So how long have you been in this type of business?
I started with Interstate October of 2016.
Okay.
And I became owner in July of 2020.
Wow.
Congratulations.
That's aggressive.
Thank you.
And that was a tough time to make a decision.
It was, honestly,
During
ladies,
COVID.
I didn't make the decision. A decision was made for me.
Really? How so?
Part of my story is the boss I was working for passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And she actually left me the business.
Oh, I got chills.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I got chills.
So talking about things changing in your life and where you go and where you're at, it wasn't what I expected to be doing.
Well, and she must have really felt very highly of you.
I
what
believe
you
she
did.
trusted me.
She must have.
Like-
she gave you her gift of her business.
Right. It's like someone giving you their baby and expecting you to raise it. And that's how I felt.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
I felt an enormous amount of responsibility for the business, for the drivers, for everything.
And then to inherit that at such a volatile time in our country. I mean, we're talking July of 2020, you said, right?
COVID. No,
Yeah.
we were dead in the middle of COVID. But for us, that was a boost because the medical field exploded.
Oh,
And
sure.
we were moving equipment, we were moving medicine, we were moving body bags, we were moving anything and everything related
move at that
we
point.
could move.
Well, and that was even at a time where surprisingly real estate started to pick up.
Yes.
Yep.
So do you do that type of thing too, as far as like delivering packages, if that's something
Delivering
that's needed?
packages we could do. We do a lot for the real estate industry. We'll take documents for someone to have them sign, or we'll deliver something to somebody waiting. During COVID, I would get emails printed. I would take them to someone's house. I'd leave them. They'd come out and sign it, and I'd pick them back up, and then I'd FedEx them.
Oh, wow.
Wow. And you're still keeping that distance
We
and
had
everything
to keep
with
distance,
COVID.
but they needed wet signatures.
Wow.
And,
Right.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, that's what we did. We left
That's
them on
amazing.
their
So you were
doorstep.
able to pivot and turn and
We did a lot of pivoting. We did a
Wow.
lot of pivoting, but it was required. It was necessary, and it actually gave us that boost we needed.
wow.
That's
How many
fantastic.
employees in the business?
So employee-wise, I have 3, but
Okay.
I have 15 independent contractors that drive,
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow.
which grew from the original 9.
Now, are they all located here on the Treasure Coast? Are they all over the state? How
My
does that work?
drivers are mostly located here.
Okay.
I have a driver in Miami. I have a driver in Sebring for some of the things that are in those sections.
Okay.
We'll call upon them first.
Wow.
Fantastic.
And so if you called one of the drivers and he says, well, it doesn't work today, so you're going to go to the next one, so you still have,
Right.
a whole bunch
Right.
of people in your pocket.
I do.
Oh, good.
I
Isn't
do.
that neat?
It is.
I wouldn't have liked to pick up a body, though, but...
No bodies. Body
Oh.
bags.
Oh,
Just
body
the bags.
bags. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, the empty...
body bags, unfortunately, that were needed at another hospital.
Yeah, no, I got it. I was
Yeah.
just thinking that it was
Yeah,
filled.
I think that would require a special
Well, I
license.
wasn't sure I was going to ask that. I'm like, Florida has a license for everything. How did I miss that?
I know.
And
That's so
speaking of
great.
that, we don't do anything hazardous.
Okay.
We don't move hazardous. We're not permitted for that.
Right.
We don't move people.
Mhm.
We don't move food. We're not Uber Eats. Or
Okay.
anything like
Gotcha.
that.
Gotcha.
Well, neat though. I mean, even during COVID, all the medical equipment, things were probably being all over the place.
Insane. Yes.
So, what is the largest load type you've ever had to move?
We'll get items that will literally fit in the entire space of a box truck. And now my largest
my
is a
goodness.
26-foot box truck, and it will just take up the entire space. We have weight restrictions. That
Of
truck,
course.
9,500 pounds. So if it's under 95 pounds and 9,500, we can fit it in that, we can move it.
Oh, that's great.
So
That's amazing. That there is a good service. So was it a big learning curve for you to be an employee to now your
yes.
ownership? You
It
got all
was
the
a learning curve.
financials.
I mean, I knew how to do the daily running the business, dispatching the drivers, but
Right.
now I am knee deep in banking and attorneys and the IRS and things I never thought I'd be doing. I'm negotiating contracts. I am, having to hire drivers. I'm having to fire drivers.
And how did you make that adjustment to get through that?
It was a day by day. I
Yeah.
literally went day by day and.
Okay.
Got through the day and then kind of figured out what do I need to do from here, all right, what needs to get done today.
A lot of prayer.
A lot of prayer, and I will say that in the midst of all this craziness, we didn't stop driving. Nobody
gotcha.
stopped delivering.
Wow.
We didn't miss anything. Nothing stopped. Everyone carried
fantastic.
on
Well, that's good because you impacted everyone's livelihood.
as normal. And
So
they
that's
were worried.
wonderful.
Right. No, and we just kept everybody moving in the same direction, and I didn't even announce it until 2 weeks after, just because I needed to get my head around
Right.
what was happening.
Oh, sure.
So everyone was like, well, we didn't know, and nothing changed for them.
Oh,
Everything
good.
stayed the same.
And that's a good thing. I mean, that consistency, especially at that time,
We were
was
needed
so
at that
important.
time.
Yeah.
Hospitals were still
Exactly.
overwhelmed and needed supplies, and
Well,
Well,
that's
probably
wonderful,
even
though.
more so. They had a larger influx of PPE equipment
Yes.
and those things
Yes.
that they hadn't ordered in
Yes.
that large a supply. And I'm sure that created some strain on some of the other companies
it did.
out there.
I was home sewing masks for my drivers because you couldn't get a mask.
Wow.
So I was buying material and headbands and making ear things so that they could at least go in with some protection. You couldn't find anything.
Yeah, it was. My daughter had mailed me one from Connecticut, and it
That's how
had a
crazy it
chain,
was.
and
Yeah.
so eventually, I think she could just kept on having to mail more for us. So I give it to our sons and stuff like that.
I made hand sanitizer.
Oh,
I
that's-
found 70%
sure.
rubbing alcohol and aloe, and I bought the little travel bottles.
Oh,
and I
sure,
made
just
everyone
filled them
so-
up.
look at you. So when you became owner, or as you transitioned, what was the thing that you liked the most about the job, being owner?
A like and dislike was being my own boss, but then being your own boss means that you're responsible
Yeah.
for everything.
Oh, sure.
So
And that
was
can be
lovely.
daunting.
It was daunting. It was
Yeah.
daunting for me, and I was living in Sebastian at the time, so I was coming down an hour and 15 minutes, pulling over on the side of the road to take a phone call
Oh,
because we
sure.
were 24/7, and I
You need.
was 24/7.
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on.
Wow. And when you own your own business, like you said, there's so many different things that come up,
Yeah.
fires that you don't anticipate. Sometimes people are of the misconception that when you own a business,
Yeah.
that you're just sitting back and reaping the spoils of
Yeah.
the business. What they don't realize is it's a huge responsibility to
It is.
keep
Yeah.
people employed. It's a huge responsibility to make sure you pay your bills on time, that you're not breaking the law when you do the things that you do.
There's a
Yeah.
lot. There's a lot involved. It was a learning curve the
Well, yeah,
whole
'cause
way.
the
was a
whole
learning curve.
backside is the operations. You got to balance
Right.
the
So-
money,
so-
all of it.
So do you do it all
Insurance.
yourself, or do you have a team that
Now I
assists
have a
you now?
team. I have a team.
Okay.
We were able to grow. to where I could bring somebody in the office who's amazing, and she does a lot for me.
That's fantastic.
We were able to bring in more drivers, which was necessary. We got really busy.
Oh, good.
And it's been a steady growth for 5 years. It's been a steady growth process.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
What did you do before?
I moved here 15 years ago.
Okay.
I came from New Jersey, and I worked in an office, and I came down and I worked for a large commercial printer.
Okay.
And that's how I met Interstate, because I was having to ship items that we couldn't fit on our truck, and I'd call them and say, I need this proof to Boca by 5 o'clock, or I need this, or I need that.
Sure.
So I built a relationship with the owner by using their services. And she called me one night to tell me something got delivered, and she just was really having a rough time. And I'm like, are you okay? Is everything all right? And she was telling me how she was by herself. She was doing it all for years by herself. Now, she started the business in 1990.
Wow.
So this business has been
It's established.
So she was
established since 1990.
So she had established that business was really handling the weight of all of that
She
up
was-
until she
right.
hired you.
Right,
Poor thing.
right. So then I came in and I took all that, daily stress off of her.
Of course.
I mean, she still was the boss and in charge and made decisions, and
Sure.
she took care of all the other things. But eventually she started giving me those responsibilities, which was good, because that's how I learned.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And what a gift that she left it for you. That really,
It was a blessing. I cannot deny that it was a blessing. It really has been a tremendous gift. And I'm hoping that I'm upholding her mission,
sure.
by taking care of it and growing it.
Well, that's
making
fantastic.
it, larger.
just by taking care of the employees and the foundation of the business really does speak for itself. So I'm sure she's thrilled, and you're
I
continuing
hope
that
so.
on, so good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Do you want to take a break?
Well, I think we probably should.
Okay.
So we're going to pick back up where we left off here, and we'll be right back.
Journaventure Travel and Tours, where it's about your journey, not just the destination. Picture a world full of amazing places yet to be discovered. Where do you begin? Whether your bucket list includes cruising in the Caribbean, exploring vast nature in Alaska, or experiencing exotic worldwide places, we're here to help you fill your bucket to live your most abundant life. Your journey begins from the moment you let go and let us handle the details for you. So call us today. Journaventure Travel and Tours, 772-882-3165.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Rebecca from the Bucket List Show. And again, our intention is to fill your bucket so you live your most abundant life. So we're going to continue with Robin. So Robin, I have a question for you. I was looking at your website for your business, and it mentioned veterans.
Yes.
So do you offer something special for the veterans, or what?
We gladly bring our veterans on as drivers. We're more than happy to take them on and give them a job and a place and feel
perfect.
secure. Yes. We were very strong about taking care of our men who served.
Oh,
and
that's
women
fantastic.
too.
And
Oh,
women.
yes.
Well, that's good. And
Yes.
just for the audience, we actually met when we were doing the gala.
Yes.
For
for
the
DDS for vets.
DDS for vets. So that was a nice thing. And then obviously we'll do that again, and that's February
Yes.
of 2026. So we'll have more on that.
Yes.
So one of the themes for today was women-owned businesses. So how do you overall like owning your own business compared to when you were working for someone?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love being my own person. It took me a little while to be confident in my decisions because it was new. But then I realized as long as I'm putting thought into it, and I'm really trying to put everyone's best interest, including the company, then it's going to be a good decision.
Good.
That was a tough thing.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to transition. Most people think when they own their own business, if it's real estate or, insurance,
Yes.
we think, I can have weekends off and I'll be home at 3 to do the brownie pickup. You almost work more hours.
Yeah, well, you're doing brownie pickup in between doing the books and in between
Right.
writing paychecks and in between.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. It's a constant.
It is.
It was a constant.
Right.
And again, we're 24/7.
Right.
So my day
You don't-
didn't end. I mean, I would get calls 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And if
that's
they're
hard.
calling you, then they need you.
There's
and
an
it's
urgency.
emergency.
Right.
Yes,
There's an urgency.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's hard to balance off and then also give your time for your personal
Yes.
self, because obviously, you have a family and things that you want to do, but the benefits, I mean, I think the same way, as far as, being self-employed and same as Tammy,
Yep.
if you're strong with organizing your day, that helps. But there's always that fire that comes up, or something you
sure.
forgot, or, you got to go show a home, or someone needs
Right.
an urgent flight to Hawaii to go
Yeah.
on their bucket list show.
That's right. Well, and there, as much as you try to organize your schedule, and I think all of us, women and men, as much as you want to map out your timeline, a lot of our schedules, based on the type of work we do, it's very gray.
Oh,
Very gray
anything
area.
can pop up for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been times where I've actually put a shirt on and gone out to get something delivered
Oh, sure.
Right.
because it had to happen.
Oh,
So-
sure.
Yeah,
That's
you just jump
fantastic.
in and do it.
That's awesome.
How do you balance getting time for yourself, though?
It's easier now that I have help in the office, and then I have a night dispatch person. She takes the calls nights and weekends, which has been amazing for
Oh,
me.
good.
Oh, that is nice.
They'll still call me if there's something they're not sure of, and I'm fine with that.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
I don't want anyone to feel they have to make a decision or be responsible for something. That's still my job.
Now, did you choose to do a direct hire for someone in that position, or did you outsource to a company? How does
No,
that-
my evening person used to drive.
Oh,
for us.
fantastic.
So she
She
understands
gets it. She gets
Yeah.
it.
what needs to get done. She was a driver, and she's retired, so this is a perfect fit for her, nights and weekends.
Right.
Oh, good.
And then I did bring someone in the office about 2 years ago because the workload became too much.
Sure.
And she now keeps me organized.
Good.
And she allows me to step out and do other things
Right.
and meet people. And
Like, come see us.
yes,
Yes.
And help promote the company.
Exactly.
And this great thing that you're doing,
Exactly.
which we know benefits you, benefits your the economy locally
Right.
here. It feeds back into the very people that work for the
Yep.
company.
Well, it's funny how, we all seem to find our own niche. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of that where you're doing such major deliveries and how important it is. I mean, I use FedEx or UPS, but there's things that need to be moved and taken care
Today.
of.
Yes.
Right, and especially the medical care and equipment. So that had to be challenging during everything else that was going on in your life.
It was.
Right.
It was challenging. But, again, you just tackle what you need to tackle, chip away at it,
Yeah.
and then, things fall into place after a while.
Good.
What do you do for fun?
Well, we enjoy the beautiful weather here in Florida.
Of
We
course.
get out
Gorgeous.
on the boat, we hang out with friends, dinner,
Nice.
travel.
Oh, travel.
Yeah, you just went on a trip recently, didn't you?
Oh,
We
yeah.
went away in November. We went to Europe,
Oh, very
Nice.
nice.
which was amazing.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
It was nice. Family trip, so it was fun.
Oh, that's good.
Well, that's even
good.
better when you had the whole family.
It was fun.
And do you have children?
I have 3 grown children.
Me too.
My youngest is getting married in May, so I'm very excited.
Nice.
Very excited. That's my next big thing
Where are they getting married? In Florida?
in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Oh, wow. So there's a trip there.
There's
huh?
a trip. There's a trip. I'll be going up in 2 weeks for the shower, and then we'll go back up the end of the month.
Well, let's hope the weather cooperates. It's right at that time period where is it going to be warm?
Yeah,
Is it going to be
especially-
cold?
It's outside, so I'm hoping.
My son is getting married in October. He's getting married in Miami.
Okay.
So I'm keeping my fingers crossed too that Katrina or nobody else stops by.
I hear you. I hear you.
We don't want no Karens there.
That's
No.
right.
No.
That's true.
Well, good for you. Well, that'll be fun. It's always exciting.
So, is there something, and we always ask this because we are the bucket list show,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
So, what's on your bucket list? Things that you have not done that you aspire to do, or places you want to go that you haven't gone to?
Oh, there's places I want to go. I want to go to Alaska.
Oh, very nice.
Alaska's
too.
on my bucket list.
Okay.
I have to convince everyone else, but that's where I want to go. I'd like to, in the future, take more time and get out and do more visiting.
Oh, gotcha.
And, I say retire. I don't know if I'll retire. I don't know if I'll ever
Yeah.
step away.
Yeah, my father always says that, to be retired is just to be tired over and over again. So,
Right.
I
could see him saying that.
Or not, yeah.
Yeah, I think, I think the idea of people saying, oh, you worked at a manufacturer or somewhere for 40 years, you were at that same job. It's so different now. I'm on my, second or third career,
Right,
kind of
right,
shifting.
yeah.
Right.
But I do think as we get older, you do want more time to either serve or visit or do things.
I do. I
But
do.
just to sit home and be retired really isn't healthy
No,
anyway.
I don't think I could sit home.
Yeah, me either.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I could sit home. I mean, I like to get out. I like to
Me
do
too.
things,
Okay.
Or there might be a day where I just don't want to get out and do
Right,
things. Maybe
right.
I just want to,
Chill.
Putt
pull
around.
weeds in my garden.
Yeah, no, listen,
and,
those
walk
are
the
great
dog.
days,
Oh,
too.
exactly.
Yeah, there's
exactly.
nothing better than putting around and doing those kind
I
of days
guess
too.
it's maybe the point of not having anything to do or
Right.
having to make that choice. I have to get out. I
Until
have
you
to-
wake up.
Yeah.
Until
Right,
you wake up.
okay.
Yeah.
We live by our calendars.
It's true.
It really is, and
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. So is there anything that you want to share that maybe we didn't ask or?
I'd like to share some of the different things that we've done in the past so
Oh,
people have a
please.
better idea.
Perfect, good.
So my clients were mostly, we only deliver in Florida, but my clients are basically all over the country, even
Okay.
in Canada. They'll call us to do something in this area because we're here.
Okay.
We've helped a reporter with the New York Times secure a story simply because she needed to give a money order to the county to release a story, and she couldn't do
wow.
it. Something as simple as that. I ran
Oh,
a
that's
money
fantastic.
order over, and she was able to get her story.
That's fantastic.
I was able to move an engagement ring from Jensen Beach to the West Coast
Aw.
for a groom, and that was great. I wish we had taken pictures of it, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a little story no one ever hears about. I have stepped in between two families, not physically, but we're the in between. If you need something delivered to a family member, whatever the reason that they can't communicate, well, that's our niche. We'll
Right.
just take care of things, and there's
Right.
no animosity on either side. We've done that. We've brought someone's remains to a family member because they couldn't speak to each other, which is sad.
It is
but,
sad.
Yeah.
But you're serving a need,
Right.
and those are great stories. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
the idea that now there's a solution. So if we hear something or everyone
Sure.
else hears something, we have a way to
Sure.
make a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, what's a typical, I'm just curious, what's a typical timeline of some of these things that you do? I know you're available 24/7.
Sure.
But what would you say is like the standard timeline if I needed to get something moved from the East Coast to the West Coast?
So the more time I have to make it happen, the better, because
Of
you're
course.
talking about a 3-hour ride.
Of course.
How quickly can I get to the pickup? Where's the pickup? Do I have to go to Miami and pick it up? Is it in the Treasure Coast? So as much information as you can give us, and the sooner you can give it, the better. And a lot of times now, our clients are saying, "Hey, tomorrow can we set something up?" I love it
Yeah.
because I can have somebody there,
Of course.
whatever time we need to be, rather than, okay, let me get somebody on the road to you. It'll be an hour,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
they'll pick up, and then they'll go. So as much time as we need, and then obviously, what are we moving? Do I need a
Right.
truck?
Right.
Is it something small? What is the items?
Does the customer have to maintain insurance for the item, or do you add the insurance?
We have insurance.
Okay.
On our drivers and our vehicles, so no,
Okay.
they don't have to do anything. Obviously, tell me if it's something fragile or
Right.
that.
Right.
But
we
the
don't-
contents would be insured.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
Right.
nice.
And what is the best way for them to initiate services, or where can they reach you for
We
questions?
prefer a phone call
Okay.
because we're on the phone all day. We might not necessarily see our email right away, but we will answer the phone immediately, and we
Okay.
will handle it immediately.
Gotcha.
That
Perfect.
is the best thing for us.
Right, right.
So what is your number? So let's share your
Mom,
number.
Yes, it's 772-287-2137.
Right.
Perfect.
And if you wanted to take a look at what Interstate does, they do have a wonderful website.
It's a nice site.
Yeah, it is. It's a wonderful site, that shows the different services that they provide throughout the state of Florida. And we'll kind of break that down for you in a nugget.
Perfect.
So, so that website is interstateexpress.com.
Okay.
And of course, there's a variety of different places they can go. There's a nice gallery. on the
Yeah, we
site.
put our drivers up. If someone is curious, they'll know. My drivers are also uniformed and badged.
Oh, that's good too. Yeah, you don't want anyone showing up with, you don't know who's who.
No.
Yeah, especially with some of the other delivery companies, you're not sure who's knocking at your door
Right,
because there is
right.
no identification. So
Right.
that is a good plus.
Right, and then we need that for getting into, the power plants, for getting into the hospital, so.
Okay, that's right too. Yeah, so you need all that clearance too for all these delivery places.
We do,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
if you go to a power plant, you're gonna get stopped at the gate, and, they need
Right.
to know who you are and what company you're from.
Gotcha.
Perfect.
So then, the last thing that I would ask of you, Robin, is what bit of advice would you give to someone if they were seeking to start their own business or take over an existing business in today's environment?
So, that's a tough one because, again, my situation is a little different, but do your research, know what you need to do, know who is working for you and who your customers are and what their needs are. I think the biggest thing for me and my years of customer service is how can I be a help to you? What is going to be my best customer service?
Right.
I think that's a big key.
Of course.
And then reach out, find someone who can guide you, help you, speak to you, who's going to send you in the right direction with your finances, with your legal questions.
Yeah, you need to build that village.
You do.
But I do think it's key. The customer service doesn't matter what business you're in. I mean, we all need to be kind.
We do.
Try to listen. And when the customer feels that, they know the difference, and then, that compounds to the relationship. And so I do agree with that.
I would too. Great
Yeah.
advice,
Yep,
Robin.
absolutely.
Well, just as we had said prior to the show, this time goes by so fast.
Yes.
Is it over already?
It's
Yeah.
almost over, yes. So, but we want to reiterate how you can best reach Robin. So if you could please share with our listeners and our watchers.
Absolutely. Just give us a call, 772-287-2137. We always answer the phone. We do not have a service.
Okay.
I have someone that will answer your calls immediately.
A real
Fantastic.
person.
A real person will answer
Imagine that.
24/7. And I think people call at 2:00 in the morning just to see if that's true.
Oh, man.
I'll call her
She's
now.
not encouraging you.
No,
No.
don't call. Don't call.
But I think that's been the case.
Yes, I'm sure it has. Well, thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you,
Robin. We
ladies.
appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
on the show.
Yeah.
And wonderful, wonderful stories.
Yeah.
So please come back to see us for
Absolutely.
the next show. We would love to have you again. I'm Tammy Crandall with Journ Adventure Travel and Tours and Barron Real Estate.
And I'm Rebecca with Superior Storage and Barron Real Estate as well.
And we should probably give our numbers.
And
just
my
in case.
number is 203-482-7297. And be kind, everybody.
Yeah, and I'm, again, Tammy Crandall. If you want to reach me for anything, we're always looking for great ideas and suggestions of what we can bring to the show. This is a show that we are trying to bring to you with great information. So if you've got ideas for topics or other things that we can do going forward, my number is 772-579-9536. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.